So we've made it to 2024, the year of the dragon, and this one looks to be another packed one with a leap year this time round, so we have an extra day. We also have an Olympic Games coming up in the summer, and also many films on the way. So in this video I'm going to give you my 10 most anticipated films for the year. These are in no particular order, but I have left my most anticipated for last. Getting straight into it then, in number 10 we have Joker Folie à Deux. Somehow it's already been 5 years since Joker was released back in 2019, and now we have a sequel with Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, and this time he's paired up with Harley Quinn, who's played by Lady Gaga. The title Joker Folie à Deux, which hopefully I'm pronouncing right, does translate to a delusion or mental illness shared by two people in close association, and so you can understand why they've picked this as the subtitle for this sequel. In the past, Lady Gaga has shown herself to be a decent actress in films like House of Gucci and also A Star is Born, and in this film, with her involvement, it's a musical thriller, and so I'm sure she'll be great in these moments, but how is it all going to work as a film? I'm really intrigued to see. Next up in number 9 we have The Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim. Now we don't know too much about this film so far, but as it is Lord of the Rings, it has piqued my interest. What we do know though is that it is directed by Kenji Kamiyama, who is a famous Japanese anime director. It also does include the voice talent of Brian Cox, and it is apparently based on a story told in the appendices of the Lord of the Rings novel by J.R.R. Tolkien. The film is scheduled to be released in December, and we should hopefully get some more information about it around the summertime. Moving on to number 8 now, and we have Ballerina. Ballerina will be the first spin-off movie for the John Wick franchise, with the story taking place between the events of John Wick 3 and John Wick 4, and so Keanu Reeves will be making an appearance at some point in the movie, and also Norman Reedus is involved as well, and we'll also see one of the last appearances of Lance Reddick after he sadly passed away last year. The star of the show in this one though is Ana de Armas, and it'll be interesting to see how she does here, because we did get a little taste of her action abilities in No Time to Die, and so now to see her lead this film will be very exciting to see. Next up in number 7 we have NOS Feratu, which will hopefully release this year, but it may just slip into 2025. Hopefully though it does release this year, and if it does there are some great signs that it'll be a success, because it's directed by one of the most exciting filmmakers around right now in Robert Eggers, who's done recently The Northman and also The Lighthouse. It's also got a great cast on board with Bill Skarsgård, Nicholas Hoult, also Lily Rose Depp. I think this is a really big role for her after the pretty dire results she had with The Idol. Willem Dafoe says this film is unlike anything he's ever seen, and I've never actually seen the 1922 version of Nosferatu, so I've got some homework to do. Getting into number 6 now, we have Deadpool 3. When the first Deadpool was released, it told Hollywood that there is an audience for R-rated comic book films, and I thought that first movie was fantastic. The second not so much, but I still had a good time with it, and now with this third one, I think it's really come at a great time for Marvel. The MCU is currently going through quite a difficult patch, and in Deadpool 3 it looks like we're going to see many X-Men characters enter the fray and really address the whole Disney and Fox merger, including of course Hugh Jackman's Wolverine returning, and he's going to be a massive draw for this movie. Also I think they could use the whole meta comedy angle to maybe address the whole Kang situation with the recast, which they're hoping to do maybe by the time that you're watching this video. There has been a lot of leaks from the set, so hopefully that all calms down, but I think Deadpool 3, with it releasing at the end of July, it has a great slot there to really be a great summer movie for Marvel, especially in the year where they have not many things coming out. Alright, moving into the top 5 now, and we have Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. The recent trilogy of ape films we saw of Andy Serkis I thought was one of the best trilogies we've seen for some time, and so there's a lot to live up to here for Kingdom, and with Kingdom it's going to be the start of a new trilogy. This one comes from director Wes Ball, who in the past has done the Maze Runner films, and with those films I thought the first one was okay, but the other ones were pretty crap. And this is also going to be a bit of an audition for him, because he's also on board to do the Legend of Zelda film, and so I'll be really intrigued to see how this one works out for him. Next up we have number 4, which is Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. I can't say I was blown away by the trailer for this film, but with Anya Taylor-Joy as Furiosa and with George Miller behind the camera, there are things to be optimistic about, and I think with Mad Max Fury Road in 2015, that was just such an experience at the cinema. I'm really hoping we'll get the same sort of feel like we did back then with Furiosa, and I just hope we have a really good story for this character. Getting into the top 3 now, and in number 3 we have Gladiator II. There is no doubt I am excited to see this film, but at the same time, I will go into it with some caution because, Ridley Scott's had a bit of a hit and miss record recently. It's also a sequel 24 years after the original Gladiator. This Gladiator film will not have Russell Crowe. How is it all going to work out? I don't know. But like I said, I'm excited to see what they've been working on. Is it going to be worthwhile? Is this going to be one of those which is a sequel which never needed to happen? So yeah, there's a lot of questions, and I'll be very intrigued to see the first trailer for this one when that does drop. If you've never checked out the behind the scenes of Gladiator, they are worth doing so, because when they were making that film, they did make up a lot as they went along, including the script. And this time it looks like they have been a bit more organised when it comes to that, with David Scarpa being the writer here. He worked with Ridley Scott before on All the Money in the World and also Napoleon. Both those films, I can't say, fill me with a lot of optimism with this film, but we'll wait and see with it, and I just hope it is a great film, because at the end of the day, it's another Gladiator film. Of course, we want that to be good. Moving into number 2, and we have Mickey 17. So what do I know about this film? Not a lot actually, and that is a good thing, because this is from director Bong Joon-ho, who was the director of Parasite, and when that film came out, that was just a fantastic surprise. And with this one, it is a sci-fi thriller. We know Robert Pattinson's in it as Mickey, and that's about it really. There is a trailer, sort of a teaser trailer for it, and I think that's all I need to see, because the film is out in late March, so it's not long to wait for this one, and I really can't wait to see what is next up in the mind of Bong Joon-ho. And so to number 1 now, my most anticipated film of the year, which was supposed to come out last year, Dune Part 2. I remember very vividly when Part 1 came out. I went to see it during one of its late showings. I left the cinema just thinking, this is why I love going to the cinema on a regular basis. This is why I love movies. This is just why I really enjoy film, because I really got transported to another world. I really did escape into the story, and now with Part 2 coming out, I just can't wait to see how it all concludes. After films like Sicario and Arrival, director Denis Villeneuve just fills me with so much confidence that he knows how to get the job done, and with this cast, it's another amazing cast, but in particular with people like Timothée Chalamet, Florence Pugh, Zendaya and Austin Butler, it is like that new generation, and in this film hopefully we get to see their acting talent really flourish. It's not a long wait for this one, as it will be releasing in mid-March, and so March is looking like quite a great month already. So that's my list for the top 10 most anticipated films for 2024. Of course, there are many other films coming out this year, and many sequels, I must add. There are a lot of sequels coming out this year, including Kung Fu Panda 4, we also have Inside Out 2, Beetlejuice 2, A Quiet Place Day 1, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, Rebel Moon Part 2, and also Mufasa The Lion King, a prequel that one, and also Alien Romulus, another Alien film in there as well. So yeah, many great adventures look forward to this year, but let me know down in the comments below what your most anticipated films are. I'll be very interested to see your picks. And if you want to see my thoughts on last year's films, on screen right now we have my top 5 best of the year and top 5 worst of the year for 2023.